Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be finalizing the wiring for the dash in the Hellcat Magnum. So in the last video I wired everything up besides the dash and the seats. I wanted to do that so there wasn't such a mess of wiring on the floor. So right now everything that's left on the floor is either the amp, the seats, the airbags, or for the fuse box, which all this stuff right here is going to be ran to the back. And some of those wires that go to the fuse box that are on the floor right there actually go to the dash as well. There are a few things that I'm going to have to move from the dash harness into the body harness, which goes to the Challenger center console, because the climate control, the launch modes, everything is in the Challenger center console instead of in the dash harness. So I'm going to do that. And then also, since this is, the Durango had the body control module in the same spot, most of this stuff is going to stay in the relatively the same positions. The center display is in the same spot, the gauge cluster is in the same spot, the star connectors are pretty much in the same spot. So let's get to work on this, finally get this busted out, because once this is finalized, I'll actually be able to move on to doing the engine wiring, which is going to go really quick, and also getting the headers on here, getting the steering shaft on here, getting the fuel tank and the fuel lines all done up, and we'll just kind of work our way through the car. But the wiring was one of the big concerns I had. After tearing down a whole bunch of wiring harnesses for the charger, I finally have the car almost 100% wired up. I need to order pins so I can take about 20 feet each of length out of these wires right here. And then these 4 wires right here, I need to extend by about 2.5 feet because this module used to be over there. And then this goes to the center screen module that's right behind it. So I need to extend those so everything works. I took out the wiring for the rear seat TVs because I'm not going to have those in the charger. I also wired in the charger airbag module. I was running into an issue with the Durango airbag module because all the wiring was going to be the incorrect lengths. It used the incorrect sensors and none of the sensors mounted up to the charger. So I ended up using the charger airbag module. All the wiring works perfectly. The only thing I'm going to have to do is buy a brand new module, and I'm going to have to use an aftermarket tool to program the Durango VIN onto that module, and I think it's going to work. So besides that, everything else is pretty close to being wired up. I mean, I have all of the airbags wired up. We have the headlights. All this stuff is ready to go. And I added the pop button for the trunk, which the Durango doesn't have. I also added an internal dimmer switch, which the Durango doesn't have. So I add those 2 wires to the body control module. And then we have all the wiring for the steering wheel, which is right here. We have the courtesy lights. I added the charger ones because the Durango uses like it doesn't use an LED for some reason. And then I have all the wiring for this stuff over here, which is really nice. And we're getting very close. All this is just kind of zip tied up. This is all the CAN bus wiring. And then this is a bunch of the stereo wires right here. So we have some CAN bus wires that go to the back as well to the RF module and stuff like that. So the body control module is 100% hooked up, and all the wiring over there, I just don't have it zip tied. So I need to extend some wires that go to the new fuse box location, which is in the back, and I need to start zip tying all of this wiring up. I also have all the wiring zip tied for the amp in the back, and I made a bracket so the amp mounts where the active suspension module would mount, but I'm not running active suspension. I'm running the coilovers, so I don't need that module anymore. But I'm really happy that this is almost over. It was a very, very big wiring project. I also have all the doors wired up, which is nice. I need to order some pins for the doors as well because a lot of the pins are different sizes, which is kind of a pain, but a lot of them were the same. So I'm gonna end the video here. If you like these videos, make sure to click that subscribe button, thumbs up, throw a comment below. As always, see you guys next time.